have I done here on the Radio Wammo Breakfast? 7:42, we're steering into space now with Dylan Storey. Thanks very much to the Auckland Stardom Observatory. Welcome back to the show, Dylan.
Yes, thank you, Wammo.
And you were unable to sleep last night, you were just telling me off here there, so you decided to go stargazing from your place last night.
Yeah, well, as I do, just walk out onto the deck, and I had my binoculars, which aren't particularly powerful, 7x52s, so they're more sort of, they come from my dad, so they're hunting binoculars rather than astronomy binoculars as such. And I had a look at Jupiter, which was looking particularly bright in the sky.
Yeah.
And I could see all 4 of its Galilean moons, its 4 biggest moons, with my modest binoculars, and that's probably the best viewing I've ever had of. I mean, this is the best viewing conditions for Jupiter I've ever seen.
That's amazing.
So
and what do they appear like? Just tiny little light dots?
Yeah, they're just like little dots, sort of probably less than a tenth as bright as the planet. And they're all in a line out to either side. There
weren't dots in your eyes?
No.
Definitely, you could see them up there. Moons.
They were definitely moons. So the moons, they'll all be in a line because everything in the solar system's on a flat plane.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's 4 that are quite easy to see through telescopes, or in this case binoculars. And because they're all 4 orbiting, you could get all 4 on one side. It would be slightly unlikely, but you could get 3 on one side, 1 on the other. Last night I had 2 on each side, so.
Hey, so that would be your astronomy achievement of the week, right? To be able to see those moons through the binoculars, yeah. Or have you got something bigger?
Well, you could go out. You could go out any night and see those.
Oh, yeah, but
that would have.
For this week.
Would have been my observational event of the week.
Okay,
yeah.
All right, because I just want to segue onto my astronomy achievement of the week, and that was understanding what retrograde means. And,
retrograde.
And how that actually works. Finally, I saw a great explanation by that English geezer who's got that.
Doctor.
Yeah, the cool guy.
The cool guy with a permanent smile.
Yeah, he's part musician, part astronomer. Yeah, him. And he was just able to explain it really, really well. I'm not going to try and explain it now. Dr. Brian Cox. That's yeah. Because it's very much a visual thing. There's no really real way of explaining it. You need to see it visually to really understand it. But retrograde. So go and find out what retrograde means if you don't know, because that's really, really quite something to get your head around.
Well, basically, as you watch the planets, if you keep track of them, the planets move. That's why they're called planets, because planets is the Greek word for wanderers, and so the 5 wandering lights called the planets. And as you watch them, they move through the sky from here in the southern hemisphere. So we're looking at them. They'll move. Are
you trying to explain retrograde without any visual tools?
No, well, I was waving my hands here.
That's not going to help. No, you're not going to be able to do it, Dylan.
I was going to describe what you see rather than how it works.
Oh, the fact that it moves back and forth across the sky.
Yeah, well, the planets move one way, right? They move in a line across the sky in one direction, and planets at a certain time will stop, turn around, go the other way for a little while.
Yeah.
And then stop again and continue back on their path.
Well, that's what it appears to be looking like.
That's how it appears. Yeah, that's how we see it from here. So that confused the hell out of the ancients who were trying to figure out all this stuff. Why do these things in the sky stop and turn around for a little while? And how does a planet, once we know what a planet is, how does it stop and turn around?
Not only confused the ancients, but it confused simple people like me.
Yeah. And me if I didn't have the diagram. But yeah, as you say, listeners can look it up on the internet and see why this happens.
I'm sure that there's probably the YouTube clip of it up there somewhere. So anyway, moving on. The summer solstice, has it just been?
Yeah, last night. Yeah, the longest day, or the point where the Earth's tilt is sort of the line of the Earth's axis is exactly pointing to the sun, so it's at its maximum tilt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the tilt stays the same, but now the tilt is in line with the sun. So the southern hemisphere here is tilted as close as it gets to the sun. Northern hemisphere is tilted as far away as it gets.
So we had the longest day yesterday or today?
I think the actual solstice was sometime yesterday.
Yeah. Okay.
So it'll be pretty much the same either side of it.
But it still kind of creeps a little bit, in that it still gets lighter, a little bit longer, either in the morning or the evening.
No, it only seems like it does.
Does it? Oh.
Yeah, because of the sort of the balance of time with daylight saving and everything, the sunrise time will change slightly, so it kind of gives the illusion that the days are getting longer, but in fact from now they're getting shorter.
Oh, that's depressing.
We're at the height of summer now. I know it's depressing, eh?
We haven't even had a summer yet.
Luckily, though, we've got a temperature lag, so
yeah.
The hemisphere sort of takes a few months to catch up.
Yeah. Hey, a big achievement for actual astronomers, not just us, this week, and that was another discovery. Tell us about that.
The Kepler's discovered a new planet. So Kepler's a satellite up there looking for planets around other stars. And was it last week or the week before we announced that it had discovered a planet 2.4 times the size of Earth in the star's habitable zone? So it's in the area where the conditions for life to exist as they are on Earth, the sort of temperatures that we have on Earth can exist. But this planet was 2.4 times bigger than Earth, so we actually don't know what a planet that size is like. As in, is it a gas giant? Can it have solid ground and atmosphere? We've got no model for something that size.
Right.
So what it's announced now is its findings since then are that it's found a planet the size of the Earth. Now, we've announced this sort of thing before, and that these sort of things have been in the news. The difference is that this time it's confirmed. So Kepler, it sort of collects this data sent from the satellite, and they process it, and they say, that looks like it's going to be a planet the size of the Earth. So they'll publish this, and everyone will get excited. But it actually takes a few more revolutions of the star, which could be up to a year and a half or something for those observations to be confirmed and scientifically confirmed. So it's just confirmed the first planet the size of the Earth. But this one is not in the habitable zone. It's closer to the star, so it will be boiling hot. So
all right. Yeah.
We've got planets in the habitable zone, and we've got Earth-like planets not in the habitable zone. So it's basically just a matter of time until we find the combination of both, which just involves a lot more data processing from the satellite.
And then it'll take us a billion light years to get there.
Oh yeah, at least.
Yeah, indeed. I do want a promo just before we go. A
promo.
Yeah, a promo. just because I got a hold of one, and I reckon it's pretty damn cool. The New Zealand Astronomical Yearbook from the Auckland Stardome. And on the front, it's got 2012, not the end. But it is. It's got the whole year ahead in kind of the things that might be happening in space. Well, actually, that will be happening. It's got all the maps and whatnot and things to look out for. Just a really helpful book, and it's current right now, right before 2012. So go and get that if you really want the full use of it. It would be a great gift, I would say, to a kid or an adult who really loves space. Here you go.
Yeah, that's a really good publication. It's got the star charts for each month and how to see where to face in the sky to see different things. And it's got articles on astronomy, one being the cover story there of the sort of debunking all the myths around the 2012 apocalypse.
Yeah. And also the solar eclipse that's happening in November next year.
Yep. And something on Transit of Venus, which will be good viewing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a really good book there, available at Stardome and at some bookshops.
Choice. Hey, Dylan, thanks so much for stargazing with us throughout this year. Looking forward to chatting to you once again in the new year. And have a great festive period, and hope you get some more stargazing and a few achievements unlocked over this.
Yeah, and for everyone out there going camping or going away, have a look at Jupiter. It's great to look. You can't miss it in the night sky, basically.
Jupiter, it'll flip you out, man.
Yeah.
Thanks very
Thanks, Wammo.
Thanks, Dylan.